The Mystery of BELICENA VILLCA. 4th Book. Quest for Uncle Kurt. Chapter 31. Since then, all happened very quickly, and, in the same mode. I will narrate it to you, Nefachiro. Early in the morning, we were prepared to retake the persecution. The totality of the warriors hastened to take the weapons, as if we were, in any moment, to outbreak a battle. The Tibetans inspected the arrows and the edge of their knives, and were waiting for the command to march with one hand supported in the pommel of the scimitars. The Germans provided themselves with loaders and hand grenades, and replaced the fusils Moser for the machine pistols Smiser. Although the orders of Konrad Tarstein, identical to the ones that von Grossenow received from the SD, demanded me to join pacifically to the expedition of Ernst Schaefer, I doubted that it was possible then. And von Grossenow and the other officers SS neither considered it possible. Not after they entered in such valley of the immortals, after to have seen that heavenly region in the midst of the eternal snows, that oasis in the heights of Kunlun. Such sight could not exist without surveillance. And the guards would not be disposed to advance neither move back. Guards that, we sensed, would be much more terrible than the Duskers. Once, we had just crossed the threshold of the valley, when we stopped and camped. If we were watched, the guards of the threshold would not delay to act. Hence, our preparatives, the certainty that something was threatening us, and would be necessary to face it. We searched Schaefer, that was the main objective, but then the reality was that we were in the valley of hell. Nothing indicates us that Schaefer has taken this route, and much less that they have been here, but I think that now, it doesn't matter to advance or retreat, conceded von Grossenow. The reality is that this valley does not exist in our world. Anyhow, it doesn't matter to go in one direction than another. The carriers refused to continue. But they would not know how to return, for what was necessary to separate again. The same two lepers stayed with them, monks of advanced age, but equally dangerous, the yaks, Zes, and the totality of the horses. Even though there was none snow anywhere, and the weather was spring, the peaks of the Mount Kunlun were very near to suppose that the horses would be useful for a long time. In that manner, we left the 5 Germans, the 7 lepers, and the Gurkha, comrades of the Eternal Spirit, 13 heroes, in their absolute instance. I gave the mental order to the Dox Davis, and they went out, in the same direction that they followed the previous day. It can't be denied that you were persistent, growled von Grossenow, at warning the route taken. But, I'm not disposed of time to attend him nor anyone else. Kala, the Devaya time, was now, the death mrtyu before us, a definitive instant in which we would die, or triumph, without middle terms. And in that instant of heroes, was required of a hero amongst heroes, a leader to transmit the charismatic order to fight for the ideal, for our standards, even though we shall fall. If the ideal was finally fulfilled, to die or life, meant an honor or a triumph, whatever could be the case. No one should be worried to die or life, but, for the accomplishment of the ideal, the universal imposition of our flag, the victory of the own strategy. That was the charismatic order to my comrades. To the Dox Davis, was commanded to follow Ernst Schaefer, in the language of the Yantrasvadi. And the Dox Kla and Epler, followed the trace of the traitor in a region that was not neither in earth nor in heaven. And I followed the Dox Davis, beyond the Kla and Epler. And my 12 comrades were behind me, without worried about nothing what surrounded them anymore, without contemplating the possibility to die or life, just thinking in the ideal, in the accomplishment of the ideal, in the final victory of our flag. Since we left the bivouac, the excitation of the deckers went increasing, as if their prey be nearer each time. They guided us with great security, through descendant paths, till the channel of a torrential stream which current came from the Mount Kunlun. For 1 hour, more or less, we marched parallel to its right shore, having the monks Kalika, in many occasions, to dig with scimitars to open way, between the bushy hawthorn. Then, we arrived to a magnificent cascade of 50 meters of fall, and there, we obtained the first proof that we were not misguided. In front of us, the wall of the stone ravine of 50 or 60 meters high was erected, whereby the water of the stream poured out, and in which base existed unequivocal signs of the presence of man. In a small clean space were some mines, one of these stone barrows, similar to the South American Apache fetters, that are formed in the sacred places of the Tibet, by the addition that all the pilgrims' lamas, made of a stone painted with signs corresponding to the bejas of the Kalachakra. In a niche excavated on a stone wall, was the motive of the mines. The sculpture of the living Buddha Magatpak, the master king of Shambhala, Regen Chapo, had represented him, seated in the position of the loto, meditating, and in his hands, a tiny statuette of the Shakyamuni, sustained the bleeding heart, in which center was the sign of the Star of David, indicator of the Anahata Chakra. The said corresponded to the symbol of the doctrine of the heart, the yoga of love that must practice all the adepts who aspired to know the Kalachakra. His presence there was really threatening and intimidating. Only those who were adepts initiated in the doctrine of the heart could follow the journey towards the door of Shambhala. The acceptation of such condition was demonstrated adding a stone with the name written with blood to the barrow of the mines. We stopped just for 15 minutes in such place, because the Dekas insisted likely to continue the quest and demanded a superhuman effort to contain them. During the time, my comrades explored the site, and discovered that many paths came and left. The Dox Davis, perhaps, to shorten the path, guided us through zones completely not transited. But, it was seen that such door of Shambhala had been visited often by the volume of the mines, or at least since many years ago. Von Grossen, von Sabeman, come to see this, screamed Heinz Schmidt, who was entertained examining the stones of the mines. He had a stone in his hand, and he gave it to me. I observed that it was written with blood in two of its faces. One resulted illegible, because its signs were unknown for me, but the second inscription shook my heart. It said, in correct German, Ernst Schaefer. Without saying a word, I gave it to von Grossen, and I called to Srivirya and Bangai. Can you tell me, what language is this? I inquired. It is Nzaya, the sacred idiom of the Bodhisattvas of Chang Shambhala. The Eretz Kuhal that guides the Germans must have revealed some formulas of the Kalachakra to write on the stones, explained Srivirya. And that was all what happened there. Moments later, the Dox Davis went up the rungs of a stairs carved in stone that guided to the upper part of the ravine. Once finished, the ascent was acceded to a white terrace, in which limit started the slope of a mount of the oriental extreme of the System Mountain Tag. The place was presented isolated likewise, but with evident signals of the human activity. It surprised us all, in fact, the presence of an imposing Jordan's sacred Tibetan monument, of squared base and strangled body in form of bell, usually topped with a truncated cone, in which summit is placed the image of a deity. Put upon the superior cone of the Jordans stood the horrible statue of a goddess, countlessly multiplied on herself, and unfolded in hundreds of similar profiles. Innumerable faces, legs and arms, converted her in a whirlwind of presences, that's to say, they undoubtedly meant her omnipresence. The goddess expressed just one aspect repeated untiringly. Such aspect, isolated, showed her smiling as compassionately, while she was dancing over a bleeding heart. She wore her hair down touched by a queen's crown, an eye in the midst of the brow, and the eyes in the palm of the hands, and in the soles of their feet. She had been painted delicately, and predominating with white and blue. White body, blue clothings. The Jordans was at least 15 meters high, and the statue of the goddess had the enough sizes to allow us to appreciate all its details. The Germans were observing it in silence, expressing with eloquent gestures the displeasure that it caused us. Flies. Diabolic. In German. the Tibetans also contemplated in silence. However, in an unusual act, the Gurkha went to the group of officers SS. Are you impressed for the image of Kuan Yin, the Mother Queen of the West? We are likewise impressed, but much more affects us, to contemplate the own goddess, interested for the visitors of her millenary sanctuary. If you want, I can translate you with clear words, what this humble monk Kalika sees, and feels at perceiving the Jordans, of the goddess of clemency, in the valley of the immortals. We all acceded, without imagining until what details of the hidden plot, could reach the sharp vision of the Kalika monk. Yesterday, I said to both of you that if you could see the subtle world, you would warn that we were going towards the sanctuary of XXXI Wangmu, remembered Bangai. Today, we have advanced a stretch, and we were approaching more to her, the mother of the animal part of man. Are you impressed for her image? Well, what would be of you, if you were capable to lift up the veil of Maya, and contemplate Kuan Yin, in all his intelligence and majesty, on his total merciful omnipresence? I will tell you, you could not be able to resist the gaze of the goddess of the animal love, the compassionate of the heart. And you could not do it, because her gaze has many eyes, hundreds of eyes, millions of eyes, that watch the heart of man, or Jiva, awaiting to the approach and identification with Edman, the divine archetype created by Brahma in similitude of himself. And for it, the shape Vikakani, makes her voice be heard in the sound of an Ahata Shabda, and says Mani Padman. O you, jewel in the lotus, O mother who is in the Kekara, O Devi, who is in the Anahata Kekara. And, if the Jiva listen to this mantram, and recites it, as an Ahata Japa, it becomes in Jivatman, and also receives the Kalaya, the sign, to enter in Chang Shambhala, and integrate the wide fraternity. At each point of the real space, there's a small globe or archetypal atom, which symbolizes with exactitude the unity of Brahma, the Creator. And in the center of each one of these atoms, there's an eye with which the One contemplates himself, from all the created things. Each eye of the Father One is called Yod, but each pupil belongs to the Mother Kuan Yin. When the blood of men is stigmatized by the lords of karma, and the pain penetrates in the eyes of the One as a pleasurable symphony, the pupils of the Mother Kuan Yin soften the suffering chords with the mercifulness of her heart. For this reason, she is Avalokiteshvara, a Bodhisattva of compassion. Yes, Occidental Cameratan. This image that impress you, is just a opaque reflective Kuan Yin, behind the veil of Maya. Right here, in this moment, the goddess dances searching for the warmth of love. And her countless eyes look in your heart seeking the warmth of love. She wants to feel that your heart beating with love for created things. Kuan Yin wants to feel your heart palpitating for the pain that lashes the life of man, the pain caused by those who are separated from the harmony of the universe, from the law of the One. And what collect the eyes of Avalokiteshvara on your hearts? Only cold and hate, instead of heat and the love for life. And then, they leave involved in cries the eyes of the mother, promising herself to help us to make you turn to the animal condition, the hot heart of those who love the warm life. She is the mother of the animal men, of the pests. Her mercifulness will catch you and heat the heart with her love, dislodging the cold and hate to the harsh ice. And she will do it, even if she has to turn a Kalakikara, and convert you in primitive apes. But here, with you, is Ganesha, the son of Shiva, to whom you call Kurt. What has seen the mother goddess in the heart of the son of Shiva? Cold and hate too, but forming the nest for the mask of the cold death, the refugee of Kali, the Black One. Yes, in the son of Shiva, is the greatest abomination, because he has embraced the death in his heart, the mask of the death, that hides the naked truth of the infinite blackness of himself. In the heart of Ganesha, over the dead body of the Pes, son of the Mother Kuan Yin, dances Kali the Black, the dance of the cold death. And, in the corpse of the Pes, which is carrion, the phallus of Shiva is still living, the adamantine lingam of Vihara. Before the symbol of the absolute virility, Kali, uncover herself, and let that the Parvati Friar be manifested, the naked truth behind the Black Death. Parvati Friar realizes then, the Yoni Mudra upon the lingam of Shiva, and Bhairava resurrects in the heart of the son of Shiva. Abnormally, a child of Vihara has born in the heart of Ganesha. A child begotten by the spirit of Shiva with the truth behind the mask of the death. A child gestated in the womb of the infinite blackness of himself. A child born from the broken womb at the dead heart of the Pes. A child of Vihara, a child of diamond, a child of stone, a child of ray, a child of cold fire, a God child. A child who is the uncreated rune, and that is beyond the Kla and Epla, beyond the space and time, beyond the life and death, beyond the good and evil, definitely, beyond the Pes murdered by Kali, in the heart of the son of Shiva. A very huge evil is seen, the million eyes of Avalokiteshvara in the heart of the son of Shiva. An evil for which are tears of mercifulness, neither her compassion, nor her love are enough. An evil for which there is none possible redemption, neither in this, nor in the other life of the wheel of life Sri Bakahola. Is the evil of whom flees, from the cares of the father and the mother, that refuse from the father and the mother, who discovers that he has no father, and no mother, who finds the naked truth of himself, and dedicates to be what he is, and not what he must be, according to the law. Oh, what ingratitude the one of who holds thus, the heart for the mother, and keeps hate against the father. The naked truth has been installed in the heart of man, upon a bed of ice, and he has become a Virya, in a god that fights against the God One. But she has cooled his heart, because is the enemy of the love, and the mother Kuan Yin cannot allow it. The enemy of love has caused much damage. With the mask of Kali, has murdered the Pes, his firstborn child. And with the power of the naked truth, has procreated an abominable being, who was born upon the corpse of the Pes, a child of diamond stone, a child who is not, and will never be human. Huge is the harm caused by the enemy, terrible the evil that nests in the heart of the son of Shiva. It is the duty of the mother Yuan Yin, who sees all, and her mercifulness reaches everyone, protect her children animal men. Because her children, of warm ear and cold mind, are like sheep in herd, they depend of the shepherd, and his sheep hook. And because the children of stone, of cold ice and warm mind, are as hungry wolves, they lurk the herd to slay the lambs, and only flee before the sheep hook of the pastor. What has seen the mother goddess of the west in the heart of the son of Shiva? A wolf, a killer of lambs, a child of stone, son of himself, and husband of the naked truth, an abominable existence, touting out from the creation. But, over all the ills, Kuan Yin has seen who can manifest the naked truth to the world, discover the forbidden and heady beauty of the enemy of men, and spread the evil of the wisdom as epidemic. For the eyes of the mother Kuan Yin, the son of Shiva is the demon of the destruction of man. The naked truth that Ganesha can exhibit to the asleep men, will cause in them a new and fiery fall in the knot of the uncreated. Over the ruins of the humanity of the love, Ganesha, converted in Shiva, will dance the dissolution of the created, the decomposition of Maya, the final death of the illusion. And, in the pralaya of the love and mercifulness of Kuan Yin, over the death of the humanity, in the Gottadamaring of the fraternity, the resurrected heroes, the semi-divine Viryas, the god-men, will exalt the naked truth of themselves, the enemy of love, the wife of the origin. Oh, how the million eyes of Avalokiteshvara cry, at comprehending the evil that dwelled in the heart of the son of Shiva. But, Kuan Yin knows that, the evil of Ganesha is too big as to be forgiven. No. For Kurt von Subeman, there is none possibility of treatment, because his presence is humiliating for the dignity of the Bodhisattvas, his presence exposes without modesty the naked truth of the origin. No one who is on the side of the One, the Brahma, the Creator, will accept such affront. And will be once again the comparative, what will speak in the heart of the son of Shiva, and announce him the decision of the gods. Thus, speak the mother goddess Kuan Yin, to the heart of the son of Shiva Kurt von Subeman.
As wolf, my lambs thou shalt slay, as child of stone, Teachiri. Then, in wolves thou shalt convert them, no compassion shall be for thee. I serene my tender heart, drier my multiple eyes. Monster of the forbidden truth, who transmuted the human peace. The decision is taken. Whence thou camest thou shalt go. Out from the path of man thou shalt go. Fierce wolf, my lambs thou shalt lurk not. Naked truth of the origin, to the asleep men. Thy sign, shall not reveal. Because thou art eternal, but even though thou not knowst, of Hedner, thou shalt not fall. But, if the path of man thou pretends to transit, to the world of man, thou shalt never return. To my sanctuary in the earth, thou shalt not enter. I am the mother of the humanity. I am the vigilant shepherds, and I watch my herd with peerless zeal. Who arriveth here searching immortality, is who hath passed all the tests, and is a lamb in my barnyard, is who hath offered a tender heart to Avalokitesvara, is who loveth and sorroweth, is who followeth his dharma, who is a perfect animal man, who arriveth to my sanctuary, and worshipeth the Father. I give him immortality. I guide him to the fraternity. But thou, who art a wolf with lamb's costume, what dost thou search for? Carrier of the black and cold death, in mine heart of ice, the hidden enemy goeth. The gods cannot punish thee, but they do not want to see thee again. There is no place for wolves, in this property. By my sutratma of mercifulness, the lycanthrope shall not transit. Here I am Kuan Yin, Kanrazix, the goddess of the bottom of the sea. I guard the path of Devyena, for the immortals of the fraternity. Thy sin of stone for Yea hath displeased my eyes of goodness, and I have cut thy way off towards the fraternity. For thine abominable evil, today I have closed the door of Changshambola. I am held in Darglham.
All of us stayed impressed and surprised for the words of the monk. He called this to translate his impressions about the Jordans, when it seemed that the own goddess Kuan Yin had talked us. Undoubtedly, Bangai possessed a superior faculty that allowed him to read and hear the Bodhisattvas. But, the most perturbed for such vision was me, because I discovered on it aspects that touched me, meanings that interested to the operation first key, concepts that gained sense in the mark of the own strategy. The Gurkha, indeed, had transmitted me the message, although he didn't let a glimpse if he made it consciously or unconsciously. In sum, what the Gurkha said, and that nobody could understand except for me, was that my presence in the Valley of the Immortals obeyed the demons to close the door of Changshambala, just as Konrad Tarstein expected to happen. It means that, if Ernst Schaefer had not achieved to pass yet, his operational Twesten would remain definitely suspended, because the goddess Kuan Yin said in my heart, "The decision is taken. Today I have closed the door of Changshambala."